Good morning, children. I am Sopan Savali, Degree Social Science, working at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Hingoli, Maharashtra State. Dear children, we are dealing with today the chapter from History, Class 8. The name of the chapter is The Making of the National Movement, 1870s to 1947. See, the very words of the chapter says the making. Making means something producing or creating. And the creation happened between or during 1870s to 1947. So, we are particularly dealing with the incidents that have taken place between this period or during this period. The very first subtopic of this chapter is the emergence of nationalism. Had we been the nation before 1947 or during this period when there was British rule? No, we had not been considered as a nation. The feeling a particular citizen feels within his heart that the country where I reside, the land where I reside is my own land. It's not the feeling earlier there. I am from so and so religion, from so and so caste, I belong to such a other language background, a region. So there were the segment, various differences. So to overcome all these differences and the development of the feeling, that uniqueness, oneness, that feeling is called nationalism. From the book side, India was the people of India. When people began to think that India was for the people or the people of India. India was the people of India. So this country is of the residents of this country. The country belongs to the residents of this country. When these people thought that India was the people of the Indians. So all the people, which people? People are. All the people, irrespective of what? Irrespective, without considering any differences of class, color, caste. There are numerous creed, language. You may have a different opinion. That's a creed. Then language or gender. So all the people, irrespective of class, color, caste, creed, and language or gender, this feeling when developed, Indians developed, then the feeling or the emergence happened of nationalism. Okay, and the resources spread over the country are of these Indians or of these people. That is also. So resources belongs to all the people. It is obvious now who were taking these resources, who had established their mastery over the resources. Obviously British. So British are the outsiders and the Indians are the insiders or the residents, original resident of the country. So this feeling emerged in the hearts of Indians, in the hearts of these people during early 1870s. Thus it emerged and developed. And what are the causes, what are the factors that make these feelings to emerge in their heart? Let us have a look a bit. See, back then, by 1870, our India has been a well-educated one. Many of the Indians now learn English languages, English laws, and they began to think how these resources are being exploited by the English people. So we are the Indians, we are of these nations, we are citizens of this nation. So these professionals, particularly the lawyers, these people began to form different kind of the organizations. And through these organizations, different of the assemblies, talks were organized, and people were made aware of their own property, common property, that is India. The more important ones were the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. How these lawyers or the educated people established. So very first is Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. It was established. The very name suggests Pune, it established in Pune. Then others were the Indian Association. Indian Association. And third one is Indian Association Madras Mahajan Sabha. The Madras Mahajan Sabha. And the fourth one is the Bombay Presidency Association. Bombay Presidency Association. And of course the last one, which also united these people or bound these people, the final one is the Indian National Congress. The present it is called the Congress Party, Indian National Congress. These associations caused emergence of nationalism in the hearts of the people, in the hearts of the Indians or Indian citizens. How? See, the very particular words, Sarvajanik. Sarva means all, Janik means of the people. It means the association or the Sabha is of all the people, not a particular group of people. Those who are Indians, those who are residents of this country will be the member or can be the members of this different kinds of the groups or organizations. And through their meetings, through their talks, they discussed the policies of the British, how they are exploiting to the Indians. That is the very important thing, or the work done by these English professionals, particularly the lawyers. They came together and formed such of the organizations and caused nationalism. So they worked with the idea, which these all people, these all organizations worked with that idea that people should be sovereign. I will rub it off, just you note down by pausing the video. A sovereign. The India or Indians must be sovereign. S-O-V-R-E-I-G-N. What does it mean, sovereign? Sovereign is a modern consciousness and a key feature of nationalism. What is sovereign? A modern consciousness. The capacity to act independently without interference of others. See, if I am independent, how I am independent? How I am liberal? Am I at liberty if I am acting by the force of others, by the wish of others? Then it is not a sovereign status. Sovereign status is you must act considering your own situations according to your wish. Okay, the Indians or the Indian law permits to the Indians that this whole land is yours and you may behave according to your laws on your mind, according to your wish. That is the so sovereign means the capacity. It is a capacity, and capacity is given by the freedom. And freedom, how is the freedom? Freedom will be then there is the absence of outer force. So the capacity to act independently. Independently without outer interference. This is there. Did you understand now? Sovereign status. Until and unless one obtains the status of sovereignty, it is not an independent nation. It's not considered independent. It is still having the others' influence, and so the nationalism or the causing the nationalism by these organizations were working towards the getting these objectives, towards obtaining these objectives. That is a very important one. And some more factors. This is one factor that caused the nationalism. The acts of British rule also caused or also strengthened the feeling of nationalism into the hearts of the Indians. What were these acts? Acts means activity, or you may also say enactments, making of some laws. How these laws, or which are these laws, they caused the nationalism, the feeling of nationalism into the hearts of Indians. What is that? Let us see. See, we are beginning with the subtopic, the emergence of nationalism. First, now I explained it. Now I am concluding this one or writing a short, the very first factor of nationalism, and that is the work by various organizations. Okay, that we dealt with. Now, the second is enactments of British rule. What were these enactments that caused? The very first is the Arms Act. See, the then period was the self-security. There were not the whole responsibility was lying with the government, isn't it? So everyone or every family or the head of the family has the one additional responsibility of protecting our own self, and for that purpose they were in possession of various kinds of the arms. But British government was in fear that these arms will be used against them, and for that purpose, to snatch their arms from the citizens of India, British rule enacted the Arms Act. So here you must the Arms Act. It was enacted in 1878, isn't it? So what is it? With intent to disallowing Indians from possession of arms. The very key feature, disallowing Indians, disallowing the Indians from possessing arms. Arms may be the knife, arms may be a sword, arms may be a gun, rifle, whatever. The arm is arm. The same year, another one is another enactment passed. That is the Vernacular Press Act. It was also enacted in 1878. What was the feature of this Vernacular Press Act? See, the act allowed the government can confiscate the assets of newspapers if in the newspaper published any criticism against the government. Though government had committed any of the mistakes or has done any wrong with the people or any wrong with the citizens of India. So there is no room to speak or to face truth against the government. It means this Vernacular Press Act can confiscate all the material, newspapers from or anything, any tools of publishing, and which will be the objectionable in the eyes of government. Though it is true, even it is true for the sake of Indians, and Indians published it into the newspaper, that newspaper, the license of this newspaper will be confiscated. This is the Vernacular Press Act. And one more act is enacted that is very important, and that truly caused how the mentality of Britishers is about the Indians. That act is Ilbert Bill. I will rub it off and write number 3, write number C. Ilbert Bill. This act was passed in 1883. The bill provided for the trial of British or European persons by Indians, the Indian judges can be appointed, and sought equality between British and Indian judges in the country, our country. So earlier what were there? The arrangement was the British had to be the only judge, and he can award the justice to everybody. Now Indian can be appointed as a judge, and before judge every criminal is a criminal, though he is European or English or Indians. But the white force or the white citizens of India, white citizens of India means Britishers, those who are residing in India, forced the government to withdraw the bill. Indians were enraged of this, because see, what is the mentality now of the British? If a judge is invested with the goddess of justice, but being he is an Indian, he can't award punishment or justice to the white people, because white are superiors. They consider the white superior ones, and that's why they forced the government to withdraw this bill, or the liberty the Indian judges has been given by this bill, that should be taken off. The powers should be taken away, or they withdraw the whole bill, isn't it? So like that, the event highlighted the racial attitudes of the British. So racial attitude. It means what Britain or Britishers are thinking, a race. Race means Vansh. Thus Indians are the inferiors and Britishers are of superior race and Indians are of minor race. So there shall not be the comparison of that they can't enjoy equal status with the Britishers, white people. That is there, that revealed by this act. The need for an all-India organization of educated Indians had been felt since 1880, but the Ilbert Bill controversy deepened the desire. So this bill caused deepened desire of Indians. Which desire? Desire of Indians of establishing which one? Nationwide or national, we will say national organization. I think I am going outside. Organization. Now you are visible here. So now what happened? There came Indian National Congress. This national organization. After this bill, the feeling of Indians increased of establishing the feeling of Indians to establish nationwide or national level organization increased, and subsequently in 1885 Indian National Congress, which will be representing all the Indians, that was established. How? We shall see here. Right here, Indian National Congress. Indian in short is called INC, Indian National Congress. INC was established in December 1885. It was established in December 1885. Throughout the country, from all corners of the country, there were 72 delegates present, came together. 72 delegates from all over the country. They gathered them together at Mumbai. And they established this Indian National Congress. Initially, there were very prominent leaders like Badruddin Tayyabji, Dadabhai Naoroji, Firoz Shah Mehta, then Umesh Chandra Banerjee, Surendranath Banerjee, Romesh Chandra Datta, and S. Subramaniam Iyer. Maximum were from Bombay and Calcutta. Bombay and now this is Kolkata. Remember, now this name has been modified, Kolkata to Calcutta. This was established, and these people were very noble or prominent, noble people. Among them, the Dadabhai Naoroji. You might have earlier Dadabhai Naoroji was a businessman and publicist settled in London, and for a time member of the British Parliament. He was the only member of the British Parliament. and he guided our younger nationalists of India. A retired British official, his name is A.O. Hume. I will write here. A retired officer from the British bureaucrats, a retired official. He assisted in formation of this INC. His name is A.O. Hume. Alan Octavian Hume. He also played major role in forming this organization, INC. Okay. Then let's you have in your book a little bit the picture of Dadabhai Naoroji and what he was and what was his achievement. In a nutshell, it is given. He was a publicist, and publicist means what? Someone who publicizes his novel ideas, circulating the information in form of books or reports or speaking at large meetings or large gatherings. That was the Dadabhai Naoroji. Even he wrote the chart of Indian economy, the Indian wealth. He established or he prepared this theorem or this theory, how the flood of Indian wealth is flowing towards the London. He narrated in very minutely and studious work he has done over it. So he is a very initially, in the initial times, he was a very prominent Indian National Congress leader. Now let us turn towards the next one, a nation in the making. How is the nation is going to make a nation in the making? A nation in the making. See, early 20 years of Indian National Congress were of the moderate leaders. The influence of the moderate leaders was occupied in the Indian National Congress. What does it mean moderate? Moderate means not being harsh in their tone, but appealing, requesting, producing their request appeals to the government and getting work done by the amicable ways, not violating or not harsh ways. So during this period, it demanded a greater voice for Indians in the government and in administration. What these moderate leaders requested, the Indians should also be given the work or place or status in the working of the British government, so that Indian will be contented and their unrest and the aggressiveness will be to some extent will be decreased. That was the intention for early 20 years of the working style of moderate leaders in Indian National Congress. So what happened then? It wanted the legislative councils. Nation in the making and moderate work. Initial 20 years of the work. Initial 20 years of INC. They wanted what they demanded? They demanded Indians shall be given Indians shall be given opportunity to work in government as well as into the administration. Government and administration. And another one, legislative. It wanted the legislative councils to be made more representative. It means more representatives shall be chosen or elected from among the people of India. Given more power and introduced in provinces where none existed. It demanded that Indians be placed in high positions, high position areas. Okay, you might have seen where the introduction of English language in India for Indians is not to make them wise, but to make them clerk. Was the intention of the British policies to give the foreign education in India. So now the Indians or these Indian nationalists or INC moderate leaders demanded they should be given the high positions into the government, into the administration. And see, the civil services were to be held at London. See, Indians, if they desire to take this examination, they have to travel along the sea and to reach in London to take this Indian civil service exam. The center was there, but moderate leaders demanded the center should be also in Indian cities. That was the earlier demands made by this. Okay. Other demands included the separation of the judiciary from the executive. Separation of judiciary from executive. Did you know, dear children, presently we have a different department or different segment of judiciary and executive. See, executive means where the government policies are executed or implemented in the country, and that work is given to the bureaucrats, say the district collector, Jiladhikari. He is also called the district magistrate. The magistrate means having the penalizing powers, the powers to penalize. So magistrate. Earlier the judiciary and executive are combined in one person or in one designation, and Indians demanded, or the moderate leaders demanded, this should be separated. Okay. And they also asked to repeal the Arms Act. The Arms Act should be repealed, Vernacular Press Act should be repealed, they demanded. Repealing means ending the validity. Repealing means ending the validity. That is there. During this time, dear children, during this time, a leader who wanted the radical changes, radical means from the root level. It is not the theory of demanding and appealing and holding the hands before the government. And that prominent leader was Lokmanya Tilak. What he has done, the work under INC, let us see. He has given a slogan, "Freedom is our birthright," and I shall get it. Okay, freedom is our birthright. How? See. By every birth of an individual, he is free. He is free because, see, can a child, a baby, a small baby, obey your orders? No. If that child wants to cry, it cries. Wanted to laugh, it laughs. Wanted to play with anything, it plays. So, the very basic idea that has picked up freedom is our birthright. It is received by our birth. And that is encroached by English laws, by English government, British government. And that's why Lok Manya Tilak. He was called Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. There were three people from different states. He was from Maharashtra. See, Lok Manya Tilak is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Then Lala Lajpat Rai. He was from Punjab. And Bipin Chandra Pal. These three were altogether called Lal, Bal, and Pal. Lal, Bal, Pal. They were altogether called Lal, Bal, Pal. They were the beginning to explore more radical objectives and methods. These two, they were just opposite of moderate leaders. They criticized the moderates for their politics of prayers and emphasized the importance of self-reliance. What is that? Self-reliance. We Atmanirbhar. Isn't it, children? Atmanirbhar, Swavalamban, self-reliance, and constructive work. Not only giving or submitting this appeal, this application, and we have the faith in your justifiable heart or view. It is not like that. We have to snatch if you want to get freedom, you have to snatch it. And that's why Lok Manya Tilak has given the slogan, freedom is our birthright and I shall get it. And for that, what we have to do? We have to follow the principle of self-reliance and do some constructive work, not only the submitting applications or appeals. We have to do some constructive work, then only it happens, or the independence will be a reality. And that was the dream of every Indians to get independence. They argued that people must rely on their own strength rather than good motive or good intentions of the government. No, government won't allow you the freedom if you are just holding hands and appealing and helping. No. So people must fight for their Swaraj. Okay, what Bal Gangadhar Tilak has given. People must fight for Swaraj. And for Swaraj means in your area, in your locality area, just form your own government and do administration. Swaraj, that was. Tilak raised the slogan, freedom is my birthright, I shall have it. I shall get it, I shall have it. This is there. Dear children, this we conclude here at this point. Up to now it's okay. Remaining we shall consider in the next period. Thank you.